Hey everyone, welcome to my tutorial on how to use the JavaScript framework Vue. You guys are going to be able to follow along in this video and code on your own devices while watching. Feel free to pause the video if you think I'm going too fast. So I'm going to show you guys how to do an inventory system using Vue, and it's going to be a reactive web page. So a bit about Vue, it's an approachable, performant, and versatile JavaScript framework that helps you create a maintainable and testable code base. Vue is a progressive framework, meaning that if you have an existing service set up, you can apply and input Vue into specific parts of your application to create a more interactive experience. Like most other front-end frameworks, it allows you to take a web page and split it into different functioning sections that each have their own HTML, CSS, and JavaScript code in order to work. To help you understand how Vue works, I'm about to show you guys how to build a product inventory page, as I said before. So to start, you're going to need to create a new folder into your computer, and in that folder have an index.html file. It's important that you know where your files are because it's going to make coding so much easier as you go on. And now we're just going to go ahead and open up brackets. It's a great IDE for coding in JavaScript, CSS, and HTML. If you don't have it already, it's easily downloadable on the internet. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and open up that folder into brackets. So now that the file is set up, we can start coding. And one thing that I'm going to start by actually is by installing the Beautify extension into brackets. It's a great tool that's going to help you make your code look nicer, as it says Beautify. So I'm just going to go ahead and download that. I think I already have it installed, but if you don't, you just click on the Lego looking thing on the right, and then you should be able to download it. One other thing that we'll view before starting to code is clicking on that lightning icon on the right side, and that creates a live view section, which just gives you a web page of what you're coding, so it's live and you don't have to keep saving and going back and forth between your pages. And I like to do split screen, as I just did with brackets and that page, so that I can see what I'm coding directly onto my right without having to click on anything. So now we're going to start coding. We're just going to start with a basic HTML beginning, like a nice HTML setup. So as you can see, as I'm writing my name into the title section, it's automatically updating it into our live view web page. So that's a great advantage of live view. So we're going to start with a div, and we're going to give it the ID app. That's going to be our main div that all the code is going to be in. And then I'm just adding a header that's going to show up some text. You're going to see it into our web page. It just updated. Now we're going to put some JavaScript into our web page. I'm going to create a var product called boots, and then we'll see it's going to update onto the web page as well. So to link Vue into our JavaScript, it's actually a pretty easy process. You just need to put that link that I'm inputting right now into your code, and then that automatically puts Vue into your code, so it's not more complicated than that. The next step is creating a constant called app and give it a new Vue value. And then EL stands for element. I'm going to give it the ID with the hashtag app. This is going to be our root element for the whole program. And under data, I'm going to put boots as a product, which is going to make it into an object. I'm going to change X into product in between two curly brackets. This makes it into an expression. And then now, as you can see into the web page, it automatically switched to that. And if you go into the developer tools on your website, you'll be able to change boots to socks, and it does it automatically because Vue is a reactive framework. So it's pretty cool that you can actually go into the page itself and change the data that comes out. So I'm going to change the product from a single one to an array of products. By that, I'm making an unordered list into, I replace the header into a list, and we'll see how that comes out. I'm doing the array of products now with boots, jacket, and hiking socks. You know that they're in an array by those square brackets. And now we have a nice list into our web page. So the next step to make this website into an even more interactive page is by calling an API. So I'm going to do that with the created function in JavaScript and then fetch that link that I'm going to put in there. That line, this dot products equals JSON products, is just going to make my current products equal to those ones that are into that API. And then as we can see, it comes out into a non-readable format. But we're going to change that just now by adding the product quantity and the product name into our elements in our list. And then for the items in our list that have 0 quantity, we're going to have an if statement that says that if you have, let's say like the jackets are out of stock, so that automatically comes out with our if statement in the span. Now if you want to know the total inventory, which is a pretty useful thing to have, you're just going to add a header, and then that's going to equal to total products, and then we're going to have a function that adds that up. Yeah, so I'm declaring the variable sum and product to the program, and it's going to return to me the sum of sum and product quantity. So now to make the page even more interactive and more in-depth, we're going to add a button to show us, like, let's say you wanted to input a specific amount of like jackets you have or hiking socks you have in stock. This button is going to allow us to add quantity, and I'm just incrementing it using the +=1 into my add click. So as you can see, I'm clicking on the add buttons and they work fine, and since they're in my list, each one of the products has a button. So I'm just changing now the quantity again of the products so that you can actually put, like the user can input a number of jackets or hiking socks they want. So as you can see, it kind of showed up on the right. It's just not set up properly. Alright, so now it's all set up. I have lines that I can input numbers into, and then that's going to change my total inventory. This makes it perfectly interactive. It makes the website better in general, and it's amazing because we get to have the add button work, and also you can input a specific amount of items you'd like to put in your list. That's the total code that we use today using Vue, and then again the web page, just an overview of what it looks like.